Greetings, friends and enemies. Today we're doing a little piece for Asexual Awareness Week 2017. So, I will warn you right up front, this week's video will be talking about sexuality and how it relates to me and other people like me, so if that's not your kind of deal, you might want to click away now. But anyway, moving on, you may be asking yourself, Danny, what is Asexual Awareness Week? Well, it is a week started by the Asexual Visibility and Education Network, which is a group of websites and people dedicated to bringing, well, more awareness to asexuality. Now, if you're not familiar with asexuality, don't feel bad, and not a lot of people are, which is why this week exists in the first place. But asexuality is a lack of sexual attraction to any gender, where like you have homosexuality, which is attraction to the same gender, and heterosexuality, which is attraction to the opposite gender, or bisexuality, which is two or more genders. You also have asexual, which is nobody. Like, you don't, it's not having a sex drive, it's not falling in love, it's not wanting or enjoying sex, it's basically you don't see people in that way. And there are varying degrees. There are some people who will never experience it or only experience it when a deep emotional bond is connected. It's a spectrum, like all sexualities, but it is easily confused for things like, you know, mental illness or chosen celibacy or things like that, and that's not what it is. Asexuality is you just don't look at people and think, man, I want to have sex with that. Like, that's it. That's all it is. In the grand scheme of things, that's what it boils down to. And the reason this week in particular is so important to me is because I identify as asexual. So I want to use my channel and my art to sort of bring more awareness to this sexuality, because one common theme, and if you look at my piece from last year's Asexual Awareness Week, and I'll link that up in the eye corner, you hear me talk about how a lot of asexuals feel broken. You see, our society is a double-sided coin. On the one hand, we hate sex. We never want to talk about it. You shouldn't do that. That's behind closed doors. You don't talk about that with people. But on the other, sex is everywhere. It's in our advertising, in our TV shows, in our clothes, in our food, for God's sakes. Like, how many sexy ads have you seen for food before in your life? It's literally everywhere. And at the same time, if you're having sex, you're bad, and if you're not having sex, you're just as bad, especially if you're a woman. And so asexuality sort of falls into that gray area of, am I broken? Because you kind of grow up with this idea that while we don't talk about sex in public, we should always want it as well. And when you're asexual and you don't really quite understand where all these feelings other people are having come from, you feel broken, you feel not right, you think there's something wrong with you, and there isn't. It's just how you're wired, like every other sexuality out there. It's just how you're put together. And so it's nice to know, and I've said it before, it's nice to know that there are other people who feel that way, who know what it's like and can understand where you're coming from when you say, I'm not really into sex that much. It's not my thing. And again, asexuality is not, celibacy. It's not a sexual repression or aversion, although those things asexuals can be those things. That's not the definition. Again, it's a spectrum, and like with all sexualities, it's personal. Every human is wired differently, and I was about to say who and what they're attracted to, I guess. Insinuating that people are attracted to items, but there was that episode of a guy who was in a relationship with his car, so maybe. But anyway, sexuality is a personal thing, and where you fall on the spectrum is all up to you. It's how you're wired, how you feel, and being able to put a label on how you feel is something really amazing. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, don't do labels, just be who you are. But having a label, having a name for what you're feeling, sort of cements it into reality. You know what I mean? It gives it something to go by, so you can find other people who feel the same way, or who have experienced what you've experienced, and it's something really great. So don't ever be afraid to put labels on yourself if you want to. Be uniquely you, but you can also have words to describe yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. But I figure, that's enough me gabbing about what asexuality is and what Asexual Awareness Week is about. Again, if you want to check out last year's video, I'll have it linked in the iCard or whatever. But I guess we can move on to talking about the actual piece here. So this last year, I did something more kind of emotional, kind of personal to me and how I felt. But this year, I decided to do something a little cuter. Still my kind of thing because it's a cute little pin-up-y girl, but definitely in it's got a different vibe than last year. So this year, I decided to draw a little space girl, and her suit, which you will see here in a few moments, is colored with the colors of the asexual flag. And why did I choose a space girl? Well, because there's a little joke. There's kind of two running gags. One, with asexuality, I mean, one is cake, because we want cake more than we want sex. And the other one is space ace. We are anxious aces from outer spaces, because space and ace rhyme. So I drew a little space ace in a cute little suit in the middle of space, and I thought it was super cute. I'm thinking about putting it on stickers. It won't have the background or anything on it. It would just be her, a little space ace with her little flag on her chest, so it would be kind of incognito if for some reason you're not out about being ace or whatever. The other thing I wanted to note is in the background I put a nebula because she's in space, but I also colored it rainbow because there's a lot of debate about whether asexuals belong in the LGBTQ+ community. And personally, absolutely. Because asexual doesn't mean straight. There are people like myself who are biromantic asexuals who are romantically attracted to any and all genders, or there are, homo-romantic asexuals who are romantically attracted to people of the same gender, and then there are, heteromantic asexuals. But the point being, asexual doesn't mean straight, because straight insinuates heterosexual, which insinuates sexually attracted to someone of the opposite gender, but asexuals aren't that. So that was my kind of thing, to put the rainbow in the background as a sort of signifying that asexuals belong in this community as well. If you have a differing opinion, I'm sorry, I disagree. But yeah, so it was just a cute little simple piece. I finished it up fairly quickly, and I just wanted to do something sort of fun and cute to just sort of celebrate a part of myself that I don't really talk about that often, unless you read my profiles. It just has ace in it, but something that I don't talk about or celebrate often enough, just for this really special week. That's really important to me and who I am, because like I said, discovering my asexuality really helped me find myself. Not to be like tacky or whatever, but it really helped me understand myself better. Let's put it that way. And what I wanted from life and what I wanted to do in general, and how I felt about, sex and relationships and all that jizzity jazz razzmatazz. So yeah, that's why it's important to me. That's why I'm doing this piece in the first place. And gosh darn it, it's just hella freaking cute. Like, look how cute she is. I'm really happy with how this came out. I did struggle a bit with her colors because her colors aren't perfect. Oh, you can see me making a brush here if you ever wanted to see me make a brush in Photoshop. Her little, I made a star brush for her little freckles, and that's so cute. But the colors of the flag, which you'll see towards the end, are black, gray, white, and purple. And I didn't get fully black in there, like the darkest grays are the black and the white is the gray and white. But anyway, here's a finished piece. If you like what you see, don't forget to click the like button. You can leave a comment, and if you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe. If you want to know more about asexuality, definitely visit asexuality.org, which is the Asexual Visibility and Education Network, to find out much more information than I've provided. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye-bye!